two governments hope the net effect will be one of Europe's most attractive tourist packages, with apparently uninhabited countryside, superb fishing in the lakes and lochs, and a paradise for cyclists, walkers and pony trekkers. Rebuilding is an act of faith over experience. When the original closed, it had seen barely more boats than blue moons. The official records say in 9 years, just 8 boats passed through it.
Started a trend.
An example of economic cross-border cooperation. It was finished on schedule and within budget.
Mr. Troyan, Mr. McCarter, Mr. Moriarty, Dr. Moriarty, and ladies and gentlemen, it is really a great thrill for me to be here today to inaugurate, in company with you, Tornister, the restoration of the Shannon Waterway. And I think that this is the first time that representatives of our respective governments have met so close to the border. It is indeed a very special occasion, and one made all the better by the cooperative character of the success which we celebrate here today. The Shannon Waterway had lain derelict for some 120 years. To restore it has been a recurring dream for many planners, engineers, and indeed many people in the local community. Now it falls to us, Tornister, to congratulate jointly all those who have conceived and all who have brought about this restoration. They have shown vision and determination in great measure. They've succeeded in turning a dream into a reality, and we and they have every reason to be proud of their achievement. This restoration also brings into focus the high potential that exists for cross-border cooperation in the economic sphere. On behalf of Her Majesty's government, I can say that we have been proud and excited to be associated with the reconstruction works. For our predecessors, the timing could hardly have been worse. For us, the timing is exactly right. Good luck, then, to the Shannon Waterway and to all who sail on her.
Secretary of State, Mr. Tryon, Mr. Moriarty, Mr. MacArthur, Ministers, distinguished guests on my left and distinguished guests on my right, separated by a small drop of water. It's indeed a great privilege to represent the Irish Government today for the official opening of the Shannon Waterway. This, as has been said, is a truly historic event which crowns a truly remarkable achievement. The two governments, together with the international donors and all those involved in the execution of the project, have brought to a successful conclusion the most ambitious North-South undertaking of recent times. We have built an unmatched amenity for the people of the border area and of Ireland as a whole, and indeed for visitors from far and wide. The link between the Erne and the Shannon has now been recreated as a navigable waterway of outstanding charm and beauty. I am confident that it will quickly be recognised as one of the finest resources in Europe. I believe that the Waterway will make a profound contribution to the economic regeneration and the prosperity of the entire region through which it passes. It will bring additional employment, increased tourism revenue, and many ancillary benefits to the economies on either side of the border. We are honoured to have with us two distinguished representatives, Mr. Carlo Traian from the European Union and Mr. Willie MacArthur, Chairman of the International Fund. I salute the vision of those who initiated this project and the determination of all those who carried it through to its successful conclusion. To everyone involved in the Waterway, in any way I say thank you for a job very well done. Above all, I salute this as a unique cross-border achievement which has a deep resonance for future cooperation on this island. The Waterway is a striking demonstration of what cooperation between North and South can achieve. It is a symbol of the capacity of people on either side of the border to work together for the common good and to build something from which not just the present, but many future generations will benefit. I look forward, Secretary of State, for being with you very shortly on the 9th vote to travel on the Waterway. Thank you.
very well for the Valley economy.
as we flew over the waterway earlier this morning. What we saw was more than a simple restoration of the old Ballinamore-Ballyconnell Canal. It is entirely right that what has now been built will be known as the Shannon Waterway. The waterway has been reconstructed to meet the requirements of modern cruisers. The locks and amenities provided are state-of-the-art and a joy to operate, and all this has been provided with the minimum of disruption.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you please to welcome the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Sir Patrick May.
Chairman, Taoiseach, friends, I too would like to thank you for your very warm words of welcome, and for those of the Taoiseach as well, and especially too for the wonderful welcome that we've all had from all of you. Not used to this sort of thing, you know, as a politician, and it's wonderful to have so warm a welcome. As I came down with the Taoiseach on the front of that wonderful vessel, I was so busy waving to people who were kindly waving to us that I only just remembered to duck my head in time. Otherwise, I might have arrived truly by way of the canal.
May I have your attention, please, as I invite the Taoiseach and Minister for Foreign Affairs and Big Spring to speak.
It is rare to have the privilege of launching a work which in turn is certain to endure as a permanent asset and an amenity for generations to come, as this waterway will most assuredly be. It is not, of course, an entirely new work. We are completing an enterprise which was originally conceived over 2 centuries ago under the auspices of Grattan's Parliament. Work finally began in the canal in 1846 along a line originally laid out by the great engineer W.J. Mulvaney. He was later to achieve permanent fame as a developer of the German coal mining industry, reminding us that the region's links with Europe are nothing new. It was fortunate for Mr. Mulvaney's reputation that his association with the canal was a limited one. When work came to an end 13 years later, there were immediate complaints that it had not been carried out to specifications. Haven't we heard that before? Furthermore, the final cost of £337,000 showed, as we would say today, substantial cost overruns compared to the original estimate of £110,000. The trustees of the new canal employed an engineer, one James Butler Pratt, who reported devastatingly on the deficiencies of the work. The canal operated from 1860 to 1869, but during that period only 8 boats passed through it. All but one of these were privately owned pleasure craft. Pratt tells how in 1861 he brought coal from Marina using a steamer and some barges. This, he said, was the only occasion when loaded boats ever passed along the canal. Tolls amounting to £18 were collected over the 9 years, a rather questionable return on an investment of £337,000. In the autumn of '68, a Mr. J.G.V. Porter brought the steamship Knockninny through the canal to Lough Erne. The journey of 38 miles took 3 weeks, and it could only be achieved with the help of Mr. Pratt, who raised in turn each level of the canal temporarily in order to enable the boat to complete its journey. From 1869 onwards, the canal fell into disuse and disrepair. By 1966, only one of the locks still held water, and none of the other locks had any gates for a long, long time. In 1987, some intrepid journalists travelled the length of the canal by canoe. The reports which they subsequently filed on their voyage are a revealing guide to the scale of the transformation which has taken place since then. The waterway will be an enduring monument to the vision, commitment and skills of those on both sides of the border who launched this unique project and brought it to such a successful conclusion. I am sure that it is a source of keen satisfaction to one C.J. Haughey that the restoration of the waterway, to which he gave such strong personal support during his time as teacher, has been so splendidly completed, and I welcome him to join us at lunch. The linking of the 2 major inland navigations in Ireland offers a potent symbol of hope and achievement to all of us who are striving to achieve a just and harmonious resolution to the tragic divisions left by our history. Let me conclude with the hope that before this magnificent waterway is much older, peace in every sense of the word will prevail throughout all of its catchment area, north no less than south. Thank you.
Taoiseach, Your Excellencies, Ministers, senators, deputies, ladies and gentlemen, not for the first time, the Taoiseach and I find ourselves in complete agreement. It is not necessary for those who agree with their predecessor to say it all again. But I wish to say what a great delight it is for me and for those who are associated with me here today to be invited to play a part in the celebration of this extremely happy event. We're gathered to celebrate, as it seems to me above all, an exercise in collaboration and cooperation, a venture between our two governments, between our two countries. And there is no doubt that the reconstruction of this old canal, this now the modern waterway, represents a most splendid example of the virtues of working together. For my part, I can honestly say that the British government has been very proud and also excited to have been associated with this restoration. We believe that it's going to prove an enormous asset to the areas through which this waterway passes, north and south in this island. Listening to the, as the Taoiseach described it, almost comic history of its predecessor, I felt very sorry for those who had got the timing of their enterprise so exactly wrong with the onset of the railways. I believe that we, between us, have got the timing of our enterprise this time exactly right. Listening to that appalling history of disasters, I found myself hoping that the Channel Tunnel is going to be right. May I too, without listing them in extenso, say how very much I and the government I represent are grateful for the European Community, the International Fund, and others whom the Taoiseach has referred to. Without their very generous and imaginative and perceptive help, this project certainly wouldn't have been completed now, and I think it's very probable that it wouldn't be completed at all. I would like very much to express my own admiration for the way in which the ESB, under Dr. Moriarty, has brought this imaginative idea through to completion. It is indeed a magnificent technical achievement, and it does stand as a monument to the joint efforts of so many people, organizations, and bodies. Of course, tourism is the main driving force behind the waterway, and I'm therefore so pleased that the chairman of Board Fulcher is here, and also the chairman of the Northern Ireland Tourist Board, and representatives of so many other tourist interests with us here today. Not all the boats upon this waterway are going to be the magnificent vessel which the Taoiseach and I and our wives and general entourage made a brief voyage in today. My wife discovered that there were no fewer than 3 loos on the boat that we all mod cons indeed, and I think also a shower. But those of us with more modest purses can look forward, I think, to being just as satisfactorily accommodated when we come to make use of this waterway. Of course, it's going to mean an awful lot to the economy of the region. May I just end by saying that this is obviously a very good day for the people of Ballyconnell, as they so enchantingly and movingly made clear today on our arrival under the bridge and our arrival in the town. And that was made wonderfully and splendidly clear. It's a very good day and a happy day for Ballyconnell, but it's a very good and a very happy day for all, it seems to me, who have the interests of the counties of Cavan, of Leitrim, and Fermanagh at heart. Above all, I'm quite sure that this new waterway is going to provide pleasure for many, many thousands of people. And just as it joins north and south of this island together, so I believe that it will come to be seen as a classic example of north and south working together. Thank you.
I'd just like to avail of this opportunity to thank everybody concerned at every level for the great work that's been done, and to wish them continued success in their efforts, and to say to them all that we look forward with great enthusiasm and great optimism to the completion of this splendid project. Thank you all very much indeed. Gur míle maith agam go léir.